So while this fills up, let's slide out a couple of these pods and see what happened. Sometimes seeds just don't germinate, and it makes you feel kind of bad the first few times it happens, and then you just kind of get used to it. This could have happened because my seeds were old. It could have happened because they were just bad seeds. It's okay, I'll just plant new ones. But let's take a look in here. We can see that we had some mold growth. We have a little bit of mold growth in here. Some algae, which isn't a big deal, but it's the white fuzzy mold that I'm concerned about. I can save the plastic piece so that I don't waste it. Just gonna tap that guy out and throw it away. I'm not gonna keep it for anything. This has already been contaminated with algae and mold, so I'm not gonna reuse this, but this I can sanitize with a little bit of bleach or peroxide or something, so I'll keep that and reuse it. Let's pop this other one out. These were meant to be onions. Again, we've got some white fuzzy mold. We've got some algae growth in there. These were my seeds. I did not purchase these seeds from AeroGarden, but when you buy AeroGarden, they send you packets of seeds, and those seeds are actually 100% refundable up to 21 days if they don't sprout. So you can, if this would have been an AeroGarden seed, I could have called them up and they would have given me new seeds. Let's pop this out. This was meant to be cilantro. I can still see the seeds in there. I'm not sure why these didn't sprout. They don't look like they've got any mold growth or anything on them. So it's sad. I was looking forward to some homemade chimichurri or something, but it's okay. Now that I've gone over that, let's get some nutrients into this water so I can get my plants back in. Keeping them out of water, keeping those roots out of the water isn't harmful as long as your water's well maintained, your plants have been well cared for, your water's not in too bad shape, and if you don't let them go without oxygen for, it just depends, a few hours sometimes. I've actually forgotten to turn my pump on after cleaning because I'm human, and my plants were fine. I just noticed before bed, I was like, oh my God, you poor baby, and I felt awful, but it didn't hurt the plant too much. Let's get some nutrients into this water. Okay, so I've got my handy dandy ppm meter, which I love, and I've got my pH meter, and I got some new toys that I'll show you in another episode you're gonna love. All right, so I'm gonna do this using the AeroGarden nutrients to show you what it's like, and then because I am a control freak, which is why I love hydroponics, I'm gonna pH my water to where I want it. But you don't have to do that. It's just my personal preference with this because I've just gotten so used to pHing and testing all my water that I grow in. But with AeroGarden, you don't have to do that. All right, we're going to go with 3 capfuls because my plants are older than 2 weeks. So 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna give it a stir. All right, so let's see under AeroGarden's recommendations what my plants are gonna be growing in, just out of curiosity. ppm's at about 770, and we've got pH. My pH for this is about 7.5, so it's about a neutral pH. When plants are this little, they're not too picky, they grow. It's when they get bigger, their needs change. Kind of like people. When you get older, you need more vitamins and you need to take care of yourself more, and plants are the same exact way. So 7.06 is just fine, it's neutral. I'm gonna down it just a little bit more. And again, we don't wanna go like with pH down, we don't wanna just chuck a whole bunch in there, just a couple drops. Give it a stir with my new favorite toy and see what we did to the pH. 6.9. I'm gonna go just a little tiny bit lower than that. Boop, boop, boop. All right, now we're doing good. We are down to 6.4, and that's a good range for me. I like that way better than 7-ish. That's just what I'm used to growing in. It's what my plants thrive in. Now, nutrients are mixed. Device is cleaned. I can put my plants back in here, plug this pump back into the base, and now we are ready to cover up these holes to prevent algae from growing in there. All right, so I'm gonna just take some foil because I lost this piece. AeroGarden didn't come with other pieces. They just assumed that you're gonna put a whole bunch of plants in here all at once, but I don't think I have time to maintain way more plants than I already have. So I just want these herbs. I really want these herbs for cooking. I miss them. So I'm just gonna focus on these for now. If at any point I feel like I can take on more responsibility, I can always pop new pods right in there. Okay, one size, two size. I'm just gonna add a little bit of tape. Is it pretty? No. Is it practical? Yes. And again, AeroGarden actually gives you this little piece, but I lost it. So your device probably won't look like this. I'm going to show you how to restart your garden. AeroGarden knows if your electricity goes out or if you unplug the device to ask you what happened. You can either say, my power went out, or I want to start a new garden. Since I want to maintain this, I'm not growing anything new, I'm going to say my power went out, but I'm going to show you how to start a new garden. So let's pretend this is a brand new seed that I've put in here. You've got this screen here that says Quick Plant, which guides you through planting your AeroGarden. So when you start a new garden, you select that. It asks you to set your clock. So right now it's 7:20 p.m. The only thing I have a trouble with is scrolling with my fingers on these little itty bitty buttons. So 7:20 p.m. Next. Then it says touch next, then select the option that best represents the type of garden you will be growing. It gives you the option for herbs, lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, flowers, or custom. You can also choose seed starter and grow bowl. For me, I have basil and thyme in here, so I would choose herbs. And then it says for herbs, your light will be on for 15 hours. Touch next, then update your on-off times as needed. So I hit next. And then it asks me, when do I want this light to go on and when do I want it to go off? And it'll keep it at 15 hours. So if I move 8 a.m. to 7 a.m., AeroGarden will in turn move the off time from 11 p.m. to 10 p.m. So I think that's really cool about this model. I don't have to do the math in my head and figure out how many hours is 15 hours from whenever starting time. I want my model to go on early because I am an early bird. So 6 o'clock for me is just fine. So I scroll down to 6 a.m. on, and AeroGarden says that means for 15 hours of light, your off time will be 9 p.m. So that sounds good to me. Click OK, and then it says put your water in, which I already have, and I can actually hear the water going. It's trickling already through those little channels. Maybe you can hear it. Next, put in your grow pods. They're already in there. Then use your plant food, which I've already done, following the schedule on the back of the label. And then it says, congratulations, your AeroGarden is now ready to grow. Touch OK to start your AeroGarden. Before I do that, I'm going to put this light hood back on. And this is really neat. It's like a phone charger where it's a USB plug. So, ta-da! And then it says your pump will run 1 hour every 11 hours when in germination mode. After 2 weeks, it shifts automatically to the best pump cycle for your planted garden. Once I'm done showing you how to start a new garden, I'm going to return my settings to my garden was already established so that the pump will know this is not a new garden, this is an established garden, and it needs a different water cycle and a different light cycle. I'm going to click finish, and now we can see this screen here. We can see the water level. AeroGarden tells you if your water's too low, so you can fill it up, and as you fill it up, it'll say full, so you could stop. This little first circle here that says 0 days, that will tell you how long this garden has been in here according to the settings. The second little bubble here says 14 days. This will go down. So tomorrow it'll say 13 days. The day after that it'll say 12 days. And what that's doing is it's counting down until the next time you have to put food in here. So every 2 weeks it recommends that you feed your plants. You may not have to empty everything out, but you should definitely put as many capfuls as your model requires and says that you should do, so that your plants get fed. So today I had algae, so I had to clean the whole thing out, but normally people don't have algae. You don't have to change the water out, but you do need to add food. Your plants need to eat. So this will tell you in 2 weeks, add food, and it'll stay like that until you add food. So I like that too. Another thing this thing has is a dimmer mode. So let's say I go away on vacation, I can put vacation, and it will shorten the light cycle, and it'll shorten the pump to maintain energy, so that when you come back, your plants aren't all the way to the top of your light and your water isn't bone dry. So that's a really cool feature of this too. I'm going to take that off because I'm not on vacation. Yeah, this is, then it has a menu button. It'll take you right back to the home screen that shows that I didn't put enough water in here. So I'm going to actually show you how this will change to full when you put enough water. All right, I'm going to try to pour it this way so you can see. All right, so we can see that it changed to full. And now that I have the foil off of this little hole, you can see fill to here. It's right there. It says fill to here. So try not to go over that, but that's how it knows when it's full. It's got some sort of a sensor in there to know when it's full. So this is my introduction to hydroponics. I love it. I don't know if this thing ever breaks. I'm probably definitely going to get another one. They have bigger models. Like I think there's one called the farm model, which is really huge and nice and dreamy. But this is really good for growing herbs and things. You can grow tomatoes in here, but I've noticed that tomatoes and peppers, their root structures are really big. So I learned how to transfer out of this into soil. I've transferred from AeroGarden to Miracle Grow bags. I've transferred into other hydro buckets. I've transferred into cocoa. It is easy to do, and I'll show you how to do that in another episode. So this was my review and discussion on the AeroGarden Bounty. I love it. I highly recommend it, and if you want to check it out, there will be links in the description. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please like and subscribe. If you want to see more content, please comment below, and keep growing.